Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to dive right on in. We'll start off with NXT 2.0. It started out with a promo segment by Tommaso Ciampa, interrupted by Braun Breaker. You know what? I'm going to say it. Tommaso was the star of this segment. Great stuff from him. Great promo. Definitely was better than we were probably expected. But it's Ciampa, guys. I mean, Ciampa is just so good with everything that he does. So I really got nothing bad to say here. I thought it was fine for what it was worth. So solid segment, Anthony Florio. I give it to you.
Tommaso Ciampa has always been a great promo. However, the change in attitude for the Blackheart was awkward. He played scared the moment Braun Breaker got him in hand. With how much story has been put behind this rivalry, rushing into a dynamic shift made no sense. Breaker is clearly the focus of NXT 2.0. He will shine no matter what. There's no reason to bring Ciampa down to build him up. But with that constructive criticism aside, it's been announced that in 2 weeks at New Year's Eve, January 4th, on the USA Network, it will be Tommaso Ciampa defending the NXT Championship against Braun Breaker. And based on what I saw here, I got a feeling Braun Breaker, I think this is the night Braun Breaker will become the NXT champion. If not, then who? I don't know. But nonetheless, MF is right. Very good segment here, no doubt about that. Probably would say segment of the night, honestly. So that's really all there is to say here. So Michael Bullock, come on in. Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Breaker, Part 2 at New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good segment here. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa is a really good talker here, but Braun Breaker was basically playing the mind games here when he looked like he was going to go for that slant or gorilla press slam, but this was just basically him getting in the mind of Tommaso Ciampa. So, yeah, cannot wait for New Year's Eve when these two go at it for the championship. And I agree. I think this is the time where I think Braun Breaker is going to become the new champion, because if he doesn't win it, then who even deserves it? I really don't know, but we'll wait and see. I cannot wait. So let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, so then next up we had was Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai in a street fight. And, well, this started even before the bell rang. These two Hellcats decided, hell with this. Let's just go. Then finally the match started, and when it was all said and done, of on-air time, the winner of the bout in 5 minutes and 37 seconds was Raquel Gonzalez. Anthony, this was definitely more than 5:37, but yeah. Good freaking Lord. Whoa. It's yours.
5:36, my ass. It was a lot more than that.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Whoever said it was 5:36 definitely needs some explaining to do.
This is the guy from ProWrestling.net. He was the one that's saying 5:36.
Well, he has some explaining to do.
But he said of on-air time, so he clarified it. But there was more than 5:36. We'll say that, folks.
Exactly. And I'm not going to base it off of that. No way.
Nope.
I'm going to give it the rating I feel it deserves. I'm going to give this at least 4 stars, maybe 4.25. This was to me the fight of the night, if I'm going to be honest with you. From the moment these two started brawling backstage, it was clear this was going to be great. The two fought hard to sell this as the final moment of this long-running rivalry, and every moment made it feel like it deserved a far bigger stage. If this is the end of this story, as it should be, Dakota Kai needs something fresh to build her back up. She was never going to win a feud with Raquel Gonzalez, but she has more than earned a major run sooner rather than later. Now, as far as what happened post-match, Cora Jade came out, and she pleaded her case for the NXT Women's Championship, as did Raquel Gonzalez, because technically Raquel Gonzalez was the last title holder of record, because it was Mandy Rose who took the title from her at Halloween Havoc, and per traditional WWE customs, that would give Raquel Gonzalez the old rematch clause that she could invoke at any time, and she was ready to invoke it. Cora Jade had a championship committee moment by beating Mandy Rose, albeit with help from Kaylee Ray. So because of this, New Year's Evil, you got yourself another big main event there, Bullock. You're gonna see Mandy Rose defend the NXT Women's Championship against both Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade. With that being said, the triple threat at New Year's Evil is a smart way to protect Cora Jade in a big moment. She is not ready for a singles title match at this level, but she can look good working off two veterans. So 4 to 4.25 stars for this. This was the fight of the night for me. I don't give a damn what anybody says. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, these two Hellcats, they stole the damn show. And then at New Year's Evil, Mandy Rose versus Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade. So how about it?
Yeah, and I'm going to echo what you said, Florio. 536 my ass. I mean, yes, I mean it is on airtime, but yeah, we're basing it on everything that what we saw even before the bell officially rang. So 4 stars is my rating. I mean, this was definitely a great way to end this rivalry. I mean, yeah, Dakota Kai basically she got the worst of it. I mean, first a power bomb onto the steel steps and then onto the trash can. All I can say is Dakota Kai is going to be sore in the morning after this, and then yeah, like you said, Raquel Gonzalez wanted that NXT Women's title that Mandy Rose took from her, but Cora Jade, I mean, she pleaded her case because she has gotten some victories over Mandy Rose. It's simple. Let's have a triple threat, and that's what we're getting at New Year's Evil, and then afterwards, both of them wanted Rose, but she was on quote-unquote vacation, but she had her, well, let's just say, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, they roasted both of them. Basically, Toxic Attraction standing, and this is why I said that they are the best thing going on with NXT right now. Wouldn't you agree with that, Fletch, as I give it to you?
I agree with that. They are the best thing that's going on with NXT right now. But no, there's no doubt about it. It was definitely really good. I don't think there's really nothing more to say. Yeah, at the end of the day, it was solid for what it was worth. So really good. And yeah. So next up we had was the Grizzly Young Veterans versus the Creed Brothers. Apparently the fight got thrown out. 7 minutes and 4 seconds. Unfortunately, the fight got crazy. Everything exploded, and yeah, no contest. So automatic NA, unfortunately. But this match was actually well wrestled. I thought this was a solid fight. This could have been about 2.5, at least 2.5 to darn near to 3, if it wasn't for the overbooked finish. If it wasn't for the no contest. A little disappointed, but we'll take it for what it was worth. Then we had Trick Williams up against Dexter Loomis. Dexter wins the match in 5 minutes and 37 seconds via submission. But then Grayson Waller showed up and jumped Dexter Loomis at the end. this was after the fact. Earlier, I don't know if this was earlier in the night or if this was later, but then Grayson basically went into the back where Portia was there and Indy Hartwell, and Indy let him have a piece of her mind because of what she did to Johnny Gargano. Well, then Grayson, I don't know what is up with him, basically said that he did everybody a service by getting rid of Gargano. And he's sorry that he hurt her papa, but it was the way it needed to be done. Ooh, you egotistical little prick! What the hell? I mean, dude, I don't know what got up with Grayson Waller. I don't know why he's got the stick in the ass, but damn, bro. Somebody needs to really attitude adjust your butt real quick. Even though a lot of people are praising Grayson Waller right now for his heel work. Dude, this guy went from being a nobody and an afterthought to now he is in the level of MJF. I'm already annoyed with this guy. So, Michael Bullock, I know you have your little love hate with MJF from AEW. Grayson Waller rubbed me the wrong way.
He rubbed me the wrong way too.
Quickly, man.
Oh, he's rubbing me the wrong way too, Fletch. And quite frankly, I'm getting annoyed with this little prick. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, somebody needs to give him. Where's Dee Dee Woodson when we need her? Because somebody needs to take Grayson Waller to the woodshed.
Checkered apron, boy, yeah.
Basically beat the shit out of him because he definitely deserves it. I mean, with the way he said it. Oh, as a matter of fact, I'll even take it as. Where's John Cena when? You said attitude adjustment. Where's John Cena? He could definitely give him one. Well, somebody basically had a little something to say because Grayson Waller called out this certain individual, this certain phenomenal one on social.
Heard. Oh, he was there too. We'll get into that later.
Oh, I didn't know you were. I thought we were getting
into that. Oh no, yeah. Message was received. Let's say that.
Yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, Fletch, I hope Grayson Waller gets what's coming to him because, quite frankly, if I was there, I would want to beat the you-know-what out of this guy.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, Grayson Waller really rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, and a lot of people are garnering a lot of heat. So then, yeah, he talked about AJ Styles. He comes out. Waller bragged about a lot of stuff that needed to be done, and this and that, blah 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 blah. And I kind of have a feeling, Anthony. Like, look, we've seen Riddle. Now we see AJ Styles on NXT. I mean, dude, it's one thing if it's Riddle. Riddle used to be in NXT, all right, that's fine. But, oh my goodness, we're talking the phenomenal AJ Styles. I mean, one of the biggest names in the world of professional wrestling, and he actually graced us with his presence at NXT. I mean, talk about what a moment.
And all I can say to Michael Bullock is you're welcome. That's all there is to say on that, because who is he? What show is AJ Styles on?
Monday Night Raw. Yep, he's a Raw guy.
AKA the A Show. So there you go.
Thank goodness. And thank goodness for that, Florio.
Yep. And
never thought I'd be more happy to see somebody from Raw basically want to teach this little prick a lesson.
Yeah, I mean, how I wish the three of us could go Horseman style on this guy. That's what I wish we could do. But but it is what it is. But anyways, this was the other big segment. It's not often we get two good segments on the same NXT show. I mean, that first segment with Ciampa and Breakker was great. This was right up there. NXT 2.0 is supposed to be about building stars, and one great way to establish that talent is bringing in known stars from not just Monday Night Raw, but maybe I would also say Friday Night SmackDown or the main roster, whatever you want to call it. But bringing in known stars from Raw and SmackDown to test them. With AJ Styles turning face, he is a great veteran to help Grayson Waller take that next step. While Grayson Waller versus Dexter Loomis should be the story for the long term, the immediate idea of Waller learning to focus on winning by fighting the Phenomenal One is a great idea. The two seem to have chemistry already. And if they're smart, I would book this for New Year's Evil. I really would. Make this match at New Year's Evil. Make Grayson Waller versus AJ Styles. And it's the ultimate old school, new school. Waller with the new school, obviously, and AJ Styles of the old school. A 20-plus year veteran who's done it all from obviously, being the heart and soul of TNA Impact Wrestling. He was the one who really got that company, made it where it is to where it is this day. And then in Japan, and then the work he did in Ring of Honor, and now here in WWE, and everything he's done, all the history he's made, no question about it. So that would be a show. You put that on New Year's Evil, that's going to be a show stealer, no question about it. That could steal the damn show. So, and you guys, everything you guys said, especially MF, comparing Grayson Waller to MJF, 100% agree. He is the MJF of NXT. No doubt about that. So, yeah, great segment. No doubt about that. So, New Year's Evil, gentlemen, that's all I can say. I mean, yeah, it may not be official yet, but if they're smart, they'll book it for New Year's Evil. Move on.
Dude, I just thought of something. You talk about AJ Styles. You talk about AJ Styles being on NXT. What if we get the Bloodline? What if we get the Usos? Or what if they do the unthinkable and bring Roman Reigns to NXT for one night? The Tribal Chief.
It's possible.
He used to be in NXT. That's where the whole "don't waste my time" thing started that you love so much, MF.
That's true. So, I mean, what if they let him do that? What if they bring the Tribal Chief to NXT one night?
I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah.
Main roster.
Well, then after that.
Oh, well, one more thing, Fletch, before we move on. Okay. Fletch, what does Grayson Waller want?
They don't want none.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn right. Move on.
One of our running gags from our Raw chats, MF.
Okay. I kind of was a little confused there, but yeah. So next up we had Malcolm Bivens. This was backstage with Diamond Mine, and they actually made a big announcement. At New Year's Evil, it will be Carmelo Hayes versus Roderick Strong. Title for title, winner take all. That's right, you heard it. The North American Championship and the Cruiserweight Championship of the world will both be on the line. Oh my goodness. How, if New Year's Evil could not get any bigger, they're making this to be the show of the year already. The show of the year in 2022. And the thing is, what makes this even crazier is, remember, Anthony, what's the date again? Just to refer one more time.
January 4th.
The first night of Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Head to head.
Head to head. Early in the afternoon is Wrestle Kingdom. Or early in the morning around like 2 or 3 a.m. is Wrestle Kingdom. That night is New Year's Evil. So already we got nukes coming on January 4. Happy New Year, everybody. So we got that. Then we had, then we had Von Wagner versus Idris. Idris wins the match in the minute 8. Then after that, we had a little bit of a thing going with Fabian Eichner and we had Fabian Eichner and Matthew Bartel. They were talking about, certain guy, I guess about MSK, and there was a reference to Riddle about what they were doing in the whole 9 yards. Well, Eichner and I'll say this: Fabian Eichner and Matthew Bartel, they kind of were talking about that MSK may have a shaman, but they have a general. Uh-oh. I already know what this means.
Walter.
Are we going to see him? The greatest United Kingdom champion of all time? Is he coming to the United States? Is he going to be there? Oh my goodness. If Riddle's there, what if Walter shows up? New Year's Evil is about to get insane. Because remember, MSK and Imperium are supposed to square off for the NXT World Tag Team titles. And now, Riddle and Walter? Oh, whoa, stop, please. Shut up and take my money if this is happening. What the hell? So we got that. After that, we had Io Shirai versus Elektra Lopez. Io Shirai wins the match in 4:04. Then after that, we had ourselves Pete Dunn and Tony D'Angelo in the main event, and Dunn wins the match in 12 minutes and 49 seconds. I gotta say, that was a hell of a main event. Very good match. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I liked it. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. Second best fight of the night here. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was the biggest test of Tony D'Angelo's career, and he passed with flying colors. His collegiate background really showed through in an intense and physical match. It was good to see what he can do in a main event. While the gimmick may always be a little too ridiculous for a top spot, he has the charisma and talent to transition over time into a big name. He just needs to keep showing he can compete at this level. Pete Dunne versus Tony D'Angelo is clearly far from over, which is good as it is just starting to get interesting. 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4, second best fight of the night. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was definitely the second best fight of the night and one of the best matches I've seen from Tony D'Angelo. And Pete Dunne really made him look good. Yeah, so who knows what's next now? So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's get into overall thoughts on this edition of NXT 2.0.
Anthony Floyer, you lead off.
7 out of 10. I got to be honest with you. I was pleasantly surprised after what I saw on the show last night. I mean, granted, it's still not the greatest, but, still pretty much the same formula. First match, great. Main event, great. The in-between stuff was solid, not overly spectacular. Yeah, we did have some cutouts here. What else is new? But what also put it over the top was the storyline progression. Hey, NXT 2.0 is storyline progression. I'm actually surprised to say that, but it's true. They really had some. And then from there, you had those two very good segments with Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker at the start. And then, of course, the segment with Grayson Waller and AJ Styles. That was very well done. And those, and the book ending of the first in-ring match to the main event, both of those were really good. And that's really all there is to say on this. So this was a solid 7 out of 10. They're building New Year's Evil up in a big way. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but come New Year's Evil, I'm actually looking forward to the show. I usually go in with no expectations whatsoever. But come New Year's Evil, Michael Bullock, for the first time in a long time, we actually have a reason to get excited about NXT 2.0. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm thinking the same thing too, but will it actually deliver on it? We'll find out come January 4th. But yeah, 7 out of 10. I mean, I thought this was a good show. I mean, yeah, there still needs some work to be done, and you still had some of the other stuff, but like you said, some of the storyline progression that we saw here. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, quickly, let's get to you, and then it's time for AEW Dynamite.
I'm in a full agreement with it. I'm gonna say, like you guys have said, 7 out of 10. I'm gonna go in far as say this has to be by far one of the best. I'll openly admit it. I think this was one of the best AEW. Not AEW. NXT 2.0 shows we've had since this new format. Ever since they've done NXT 2.0, I'm openly gonna say it. This was their best performance since the 2.0 era has begun. So I'm actually thoroughly impressed. I'm very happy. Michael Bullock, in the immortal words of "You Take a Bow," your boys at the men and women of NXT 2.0 actually gave us a damn good show. This was in my opinion, their best show they've ever done. So no, this was incredible. Great night. Lot of good things that they can build off of. And yeah, nothing more to say. We started off with our first fight of the night. Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy for AEW Dynamite. Adam Cole wins the match in 17 minutes and 21 seconds. Then a whole bunch of stuff went down as basically the Young Bucks, you had Bobby Fish out there, you had the Best Friends, but there was a bomb. Look out! Kyle O'Reilly is all elite. And boys, there was a moment, you saw it at the end, Fish, Cole, O'Reilly together in the ring. The Young Bucks looked a little annoyed. Yeah, you're damn right you better be annoyed. That's 3/4 of the Undisputed Era in an AEW ring. If that fourth ring comes together, Elite, you're fucked. Pardon my French. Florio, it's yours.
Just
Oh, by the way, 3.5 to 4 stars.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was, whenever MF drops an F-bomb like that, it only means one thing: he's excited, and that's why he dropped the F-bomb there. He let the excitement get to him. I don't blame you. I mean, we've all done it. I mean, I'm more guilty of that than anybody, where I've let the excitement get to me, where I've had some botcharoos and whatnot. But no worries, MF. You're excited. I don't blame you. 100%. I'm right there with you. Yeah. I think you underscored it a little bit. I'm going to give this between 4 and 4.25. One of the fights of the night. I would say this was the second best fight of the night. There was actually another match on this show that was actually better than this, believe it or not. Although you could make an argument for this to be the fight of the night. I wouldn't complain at all. I wouldn't be mad at you. And just like that, Holiday Bash delivers a big surprise and plants the seeds for a feud between the faction formerly known as Undisputed Era and the Elite's Young Bucks and Kenny Omega whenever Omega returns. Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy had a hell of a match, a fun and energetic bit of business that once again proved Orange Cassidy can hang with the best the industry has to offer. His own laziness hurt him, as did Cole's arrogance, creating a nice story for fans to invest in down the stretch until the newsworthy finish. Kyle O'Reilly adds yet another extraordinary wrestler to the AEW roster and sets the stage for a showdown between two of the most dominant factions of the last decade. You cannot help but be excited about the prospects of that particular feud, given the hints and teases we have seen thus far. Cole and the Bucks have not had the success one would expect from them, including a loss back at the Full Gear pay-per-view last month. So when frustration sets in, who do you turn to? Your friends. And that, my friends, is undisputed. Adam Cole and his new friends walking out on the Young Bucks will create drama and intrigue, and that will make for better TV. So there isn't much more to say on that. So this was 4 to 4.25 stars. This was the second best fight of the night. And Michael Bullock, AEW did it again. Kyle O'Reilly, he is all elite. And what did they do? Just like with the Undisputed Era and NXT, they shocked the system.
And that, my friends, is undisputed. Yeah, I mean, 4 stars, and this was definitely one of the top fights of the night. I mean, the outcome to me was never in doubt, but what a way to introduce Kyle O'Reilly to AEW. And I got a feeling this is definitely going to set up a feud between the Elite and, of course, Cole O'Reilly and Bobby Fish somewhere down the line whenever Kenny Omega comes back. So, and that's something I'm definitely going to have a lot of vested interest in. So, 4 stars, and welcome to All Elite Wrestling, Kyle O'Reilly. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right. So next up we had was basically they were just talking about the 60-minute war between Bryan Danielson and Adam Hangman Page. And yes, guys, they did announce the rematch. And we kind of got to give a tip at the cap and basically pat on the back to our very own Michael Bullock because, boys, he got this one. He called it January 5th, 2022, the first AEW show at on TBS. He called it, and we're getting it. So, Michael Bullock, take a bow, my friend. Take a bow.
Yeah, and I thought that this was definitely. I mean, this is a great way to introduce AEW Dynamite to TBS. This is a great way to start off the era of Dynamite on TBS with this championship match, a 60-minute time limit, and guys, I can tell you this. I think we're gonna have an outcome this time. There ain't no way we're having another draw, because if we do, we're gonna unleash hell on AEW. But I don't see that happening, and I'm calling it. Adam Hangman Page is retaining the title.
Hey, buddy. All right. With that said, there's really nothing more to say on that one. So next up we had was Wardlow versus Captain Shawn Dean. Wardlow wins the match in a minute 12. Then there was a whole bunch of other teaser stuff. All right, here we go. Big one, big match. Anthony, you get to lead off on this one. It is the semifinal of the TBS title tournament. Ruby Soho versus Nyla Rose. Ruby Soho wins the match. She advances to the finals. 14 minutes, 36 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
And I just want to address about the the rematch with Hangman, Adam Page, and Bryan Danielson, there's going to be judges. They're going to have judges for this. We haven't seen anything like this since Sting and Ric Flair.
Yeah.
When they had their 45-minute time limit draw at the inaugural Clash of the Champions, ironically, in the same building where AEW Dynamite was tonight, a venue MF holds very near and dear to his heart, the legendary Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina, ACC tournament country, mind you. But there's going to be judges for that. So there is a smidgen cause for concern on that. So we'll have to wait and see on that.
But the thing is, Anthony, is that if for some reason the time limit does expire this time around, this is why you got that 3-judge panel. So if there is one, we might have a situation where if it does go to that time limit draw again, at least now we can go to the judges. But the thing is, I hate when matches goes to the judges because you already know something bad could happen.
And it did. And it did in Sting versus Flair. One judge voted for Sting, another judge voted for Flair, and another draw. So and that's how it ended up being a draw.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little worried. I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll have to wait and see. I pray to God it doesn't. But back to the business at hand here. I'm not surprised about the outcome. I mean, I had a feeling Ruby Soho was going to win this, and we're halfway home to the final that I projected coming out of this. But this was another strong outing. This was another strong outing for Ruby Soho, who shook off some early, middling matches and has been on a roll of late. Her in-ring output has exceeded expectations as of late, and her matches against Chris Statlander and here tonight against Nyla Rose have helped enhance the overall quality of the TBS Championship Tournament. Now in the finals of the tournament, it'll be interesting to see if AEW goes the predictable route of Jade Cargill advancing, which I think they're going to do. Or do they buck the system and book a babyface versus babyface finale with Ruby Soho battling Thunder Rosa? Honestly, that's the match that I want to see, and I know MF and Bullock will agree with me on that. I know that's the match they want to see because that's got potential to be a banger. It really does. Soho and Cargill, on the other hand, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But one match would almost certainly deliver a quality title bout, that being Rosa and Soho if it comes down to it, while Cargill versus Soho creates intrigue based on whether or not the relative rookie can hang with a veteran performer like Ruby Soho. Either way, the second semifinal match is certainly interesting, if nothing else. Next week, and it's going to happen next week on the New Year's edition of Dynamite, the final Dynamite on TNT from the Daily's place in Jacksonville before we move to TBS and the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey for that premiere Dynamite on TBS. But you've already got Hangman and Danielson, and we're going to be guaranteed a TBS champion, either Soho versus Cargill, which would be, wait and see, but Soho and Rosa, that would be a banger as well. But I got a bad feeling it's going to be Cargill. They're probably going to go the predictable route. I would love to see them buck the system, but I don't think they're going to. So just me. But here, I'm going to give this 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Sleeper fight of the night. I mean, you never know with Nyla Rose. You never know what you're going to get. But Ruby Soho definitely carried the native beast to a more than passable match tonight. So I'll give this 3.25 to 3.5. So sleeper fight of the night for me. So Michael Bullock, the former Ruby Riott, one win away from becoming the inaugural TBS champion. But by golly, it is not going to be easy. It's either going to be against one of the best women's wrestlers in the world today in Thunder Rosa, or the odds-on favorite, that dominant Amazon she-male, Jade Cargill.
Yeah, 3.5 stars for me. I mean, a sleeper fight of the night contender. I mean, this was a good match here, and yeah, Ruby Soho, she's basically now one win away from the TBS title, but it's going to be tough either way, either against Jade Cargill or the one match I really want to see Ruby Soho go up against, and that's Thunder Rosa. But I'm with you, Florio. I got this bad feeling they're going to go with Jade Cargill. So, but you never know. They might throw us for a loop, and they may put Thunder Rosa in here, but we'll wait and see. So, nothing else to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, but I'm very confident. I think it could go either way, but whatever the case may be, it is what it is. This was a great match though. 3.5 to 3 3/4 for me. So next up we had was Malachi Black versus Griff Garrison. Malachi Black wins the match in 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Do you guys want to talk about this? We could go right into the main event, no problem.
Move on.
All right. Main event, 6-man tag team. All right, 6-man tag team match. MJF and FTR versus Darby Allin, Sting, and CM Punk. Winners of about 26 minutes. 1 second. Darby Allin, Sting, CM Punk wins it. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was definitely the fight of the night for me. I mean, what a main event this was. I'll give this 4.25 to 4.5. I mean, what a match this turned out to be. I mean, when you got all these combustible elements and I gotta tell you this, guys. I mean, I really like the face paint from Sting, especially with the logo for CM Punk with those fists, and even CM Punk with went a little face paint on him. So that was cool there. But obviously CM Punk gets the win on one of the members of FTR. I mean, he was hoping that it would be MJF, but somewhere down the line, CM Punk and MJF are going to go one-on-one here. That's how I see it happening. What says you, Fletch?
No, I totally agree with everything you just said, Michael Bullock, and I do believe that it will eventually go down. This was I actually got to disagree. I think you underscored this one. 4.5 to 4 3/4. I can't give it the full 5 because it was slow and plotty in some minutes. But the final 10, oh my God, what a way to close it. So yeah, the beginning was a little slow and plotty, but man, they brought it home, and it was a great ender for me. So 4.5 to 4 3/4. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
I'm with MF on this one. 4.5 to 4 3/4 of a star. This was the fight of the night. FTR is a godsend to the art of tag team wrestling, and they somehow are still underrated despite the world knowing how great they are. They were the heart and soul of this match, not only providing the tag team psychology, but doing all of the little things that help add realism to a performance. Then there was their effort to check on MJF after he narrowly avoided disaster in the hip toss to the floor spot. Without Harwood and Wheeler immediately being there to check on their partner, the whole match comes undone. The timing of Sting's leap from the top rope seconds after gets derailed, and everything that happens after gets shifted. They ensured everything stayed on schedule, and the fans got the happy ending they wanted out of the thing. They are selfless, giving workers whose devotion to their art is apparent and who are as good as any team in the last 40 years. CM Punk, Sting, and Darby Allin's teamwork was extraordinary, and they had the crowd in the palms of their hands throughout. MJF, ever the cowardly heel, avoided a beating at the hands of CM Punk, ensuring there is still a demand for that match when the time calls for it. A hellishly fun match that proved the perfect cap for this show tonight. 4.5, 4 3/4. There isn't much more to say. MF overall review, and spoiler alert, it's going to be a very high review as always.
8.5 to 9. 8.5 to 9 for me. I'm probably going more 8.5 here, but darn, this was an amazing show. I don't think there's really anything more to add here. So Anthony, it's yours.
Another week, another great show from AEW Dynamite. I mean, they're closing the year out with a bang, and they want to make sure we start 2022 off with just as much of a bang here. I mean, main event was the fight of the night. No big surprise. We knew it would be. The opener was very good as well. And then, of course, the big bomb of Kyle O'Reilly signing with AEW and the reunion, the reuniting of the Undisputed Era in AEW. I mean, that is, oh man, that you want to talk about a mark out moment? I was marking, I'll tell you. And Ruby Soho and Nyla Rose, sleeper fight of the night there. Great storyline progression. Crowd was red hot, and all I can say is upward and up. Well, actually, we have a Christmas show to get to. AEW Rampage on Christmas night, headlined by Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship, and some and three other matches that were added to that as well. And then from there, of course, the big Dynamite next week, which will also feature the return to commentary of the one and the only good old JR, Jim Ross, as he'll be back. They confirmed JR will be back next Wednesday night. So it's going to be great to see him. And man, that's going to be an emotional moment at the announce table with Excalibur and Shivani. You know they're going to welcome JR back with the most open of arms, and I can't wait to see that. So it's going to be great. So 8.5 to 9. I 100% agree with MF's sentiments. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, take it home.
Yeah, 8.5 to 9 for me. This was another solid edition of AEW Dynamite. I mean, what else would you expect? I mean, they continue to deliver with these shows here, and I love what they did in between. Of course, they talked about the upcoming Owen Hart tournament with the men's and the women's, and just seeing those guys talk about Owen Hart. I mean, that to me that shows you how much those superstars respect Owen Hart, and why AEW was really delivering with this tournament to and of course to benefit the Owen Hart Foundation. So I really like that, but this AEW is really closing the year out with a bang, and of course next week we got the New Year's Smash, the final AEW on TNT. Jim Ross coming back. That's going to be a great moment there. So all I can say is I know AEW is definitely going to close out the TNT era with a bang. I could definitely expect it. So nothing else to say. Fletch, take it home.
All right. There's really nothing more to add, guys. We are out of here. Tomorrow night is another edition of NFL Thursday Night. We got some good stuff coming up. We got the road to the playoffs. Got a very interesting. It is headlined by some really good games, including a very important showdown in the AFC East. As it will be Anthony Florio's Buffalo Bills going to Gillette to take on Michael Bullock's New England Patriots. I hope these two guys are here. I might have to batten down the hatch on that one, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting to watch more than anything else. Then after that, we're done. Because there is no Friday Night SmackDown this week, or no Cerebral Smack Talk after that. We're back on Monday with the year in review on the Wrestling Forum. We got our Wrestling Forum Awards that we give out each and every year. So we got that, and then we'll figure out the rest of the week. We got college football coming up very, very soon, guys. We'll be previewing the New Year's Six.
We already have this. We already have the schedule laid out for next week.
Yeah. So
Tuesday.
Check our Facebook. Yeah, check our Facebook Tuesday night. If I remember correctly, yes.
Yeah, Tuesday night's going to be the Strictly Sports year in review, and it will also be our preview of the New Year's Six Bowls, and then we'll have this next week on Wednesday, and then week 17 of NFL Thursday, and hopefully, MF, we can before we get to that show tomorrow night, hopefully we can have a quick little session and go over how we can set up the the cruise for this week, with the exception of the two bottom spots. I mean, 1 to 7, we got some damn good ones, and we got to figure out where to put them.
I know. Yep, we will. We will. All right, so we'll do that. So until then, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for NFL Thursday night. So long.